No, no, of course I believe you. Actually, I first heard about your great exploits when I was still in Inazuma. This is my first time coming face to face with you and your mysterious silver-haired companion. I couldn't believe my luck, and out of force of habit, I started...
Sawada, for the love of... Sorry, we don't get out much, so our social skills are kinda lack. Traveler, I hear you've helped many people a great deal and been to many places. Would you be able to tell us about Tatarasuna?
Actually, we don't know much about that place either. In fact, we only came over here because we heard you talking about it and wanted to learn more.
I see. My teacher chose this area of research as a personal challenge. He said it's difficult to get into because even Inazumans don't know much about Tatarasuna's past. But who'd have thought that...
If you don't mind, I'd love to show you all my outline for the book I'm writing about
hold on, Sawada. Don't you think that's a bit of a deep dive or a first read?
Well, fair point. In that case, please ease yourselves in gently by taking...
Let me give you some background. This all started with the discovery of some records in Tatarasuna. The writings mentioned someone by the name of Mikoshi Nagamasa, who crafted a fine... But in the end, he threw it into a fire to destroy it, and killed his servant Katsuragi. Why? Well, no one knows. Apart from the swordmaker, his servant, and the one who wrote this all down, the records also mention a kabuki mono. This seems to be an Inazuman word for an eccentric stranger. Someone who dresses funny or acts in an...
That's right. Akaba's teacher has spent quite some time researching these events on the ground. This kabuki mono lived in Tatarasuna for a while before disappearing without a trace. And shortly afterwards...
So first this strange person goes missing, then a murder happens?
Yes, my thoughts exactly. So I helped out too. I asked everyone I could think of if they knew anything about what happened back then. And wow! Did I get lucky!
Stop shouting!
This part's important. I just wanted to make it stand out. It just so happens that a friend of mine works at the Government Records Office. He looked into it for me, and I can now confirm that all the aforementioned individuals did, in fact, live in Inazuma over 400 years ago. Even back then, Tatarasuna was already at the center of Inazuma's smelting industry. The man in charge was a government official named Niwa. Curiously enough, it seems like he went missing too.
Wait, so there are 2 missing people in this story?
That's right! What's more, Niwa is a name with a lot of history to it. Have you ever heard of the great swordsmith clans?
Oh, the swordsmiths? Yeah, like...
Wow, yes. You really know your stuff. That makes things easier. So, basically, this Niwa was a distant relative of the Kaidahara clan, the last practitioners of Ishin art. Something then seems to have happened in the Kaidahara clan, leading to their downfall. I don't know the details, but taken in light of everything else going on around that time, it makes you wonder.
The Kaidahara clan?
Sawada, you left out the biggest detail of all.
Oh, yes, of course. How could I forget? Brace your minds, ladies and gents, for they are about to be blown. Or maybe...
Get to the point, for Pete's sake.
According to information acquired by Akaba's teacher, the kabuki mono was not a human, but a puppet.
A puppet?
Aha! Judging by the looks on your faces, you do know something.
No! Hyman just meant, how creepy. The way you described it makes it sound like a ghost story.
I agree, it does. But considering that non-human races in Inazuma are by no means uncommon, spooky events are to be expected. And that's exactly what my book is about. Please, take a look.
Oh, and please read my essay draft. Sawada was encouraging me to follow his more creative approach, but I think essays should be grounded in facts. I don't think... Oh, how about if I plug the holes in Sawada's narrative with political intrigue? Like...
Wait, you're allowed to just make stuff up? Pretty sure you've gone from
Akaba, look. Your teacher has researched this extensively. I've reached out to everyone I could think of. Whatever information we have now is all that there is to know. This is as much Besides, if there really was a political power struggle going on at anything like the level you seem to be suggesting, what hope would we ever have of finding out the truth?
Good point. Okay, back to the drawing board, I guess. Give me some time. I need to find...
We have some other stuff to do, so we'll have to say goodbye for now. Good luck with your essay!
All right, thank you. If you find out any more info about all this, please do let me know.
Hey, so that thing they were talking about, it has to do with the balladeer, doesn't it? Okay, then even if we did know something about it, we probably couldn't share it with them, huh? After all, we kicked his butt and got him locked up. Information about people like that is usually super confidential, isn't it? If you ask Paimon, Akaba should just pick a different topic. There must be as many essay topics as there are trees in the forest. Hey, did you see that? He literally just went by, over there. It looked like... the balladeer! No, it can't have been. He got locked up. Oh, quick, let's catch up and see.
Squall and Fury! Quit following me. The wind rises. Quit following me. Squall and Fury!
Traveler, Paimon, Nahida! Bad news. We just saw the balladeer strolling. Did he escape or... Ah! It's him!
Sure enough, you're here.
Hey! What are you doing in the sanctuary of Surastana? Aren't you supposed to be I know you must have a lot of questions. It was my idea to set the balladeer free. We made a deal, and he's gonna do some investigation in Irminsul for me. A deal? Huh. You sure you trust this guy?
What did you expect? Why do you think Sumeru would keep me around otherwise? Or maybe killing me is all you can think about. But if that's the case, why haven't you done it already?
Don't flatter yourself. It was... Nahida said there's still some mysteries in you to figure out.
Ah, so if it were up to you, you'd finish the job? Guess I had you all wrong. There I was thinking you were just getting cold feet.
Well, that escalated quickly. Not a good start. Could I ask you all to please calm down? But Paimon's worried about you, Nahida. Don't let him trick you.
It's not every day you see people questioning the God of Wisdom's judgment. Just when you think you've seen it all.
Don't you dare try to drive a wedge between us! As long as the terms are reasonable, I don't think there's a problem in making a deal.
Well, I for one have no reason to doubt you, considering you even struck a deal with the doctor.
Yes,
one in which I gained valuable information. You'll come to understand more about that in the Balladeer's power was all but completely spent after your battle. He's no longer strong enough to be a strategic threat to us. That puts him in quite a precarious... Plus, he's a former Harbinger with knowledge of many of the Fatui's sensitive secrets. Being stuck here in Sumeru could make him a sitting duck, depending on how the Fatui plan to...
Wait a second. Former? You mean he's not a Harbinger anymore?
I take no pleasure in saying this, but it seems as if the doctor had no intention of welcoming back a loser, so...
Sometimes it's you using them, other times it's them using you. Most human relationships are this way. Certainly all the stable ones are. That's how it was between me and the Fatui, and also between each of the Harbingers. So as long as you have some value to offer, nobody will ever abandon you. But after recent events, even I have to admit that I'm not worth quite what I used to be. Well, if the Fatui are gonna reevaluate my utility, I need to have a backup plan for myself.
As we discussed, I don't like causing harm to living beings, and you said you need protection. So, why not join forces with...
I think these two have made their objection to that idea fairly clear, don't you? And they're your friends, so I guess you'll be siding with them.
Yeah, obviously!
Then let's put that discussion to the side for now. Today can be a trial run. Where we go from here will depend on how well we manage to cooperate today.
All right, then I'll do what we agreed.
Good. Go now, and keep in touch.
Nahida, are you...
Yes. I have my reasons for this decision. In fact, I'm largely doing it for your benefit. Yes. As I told you once before, there's information about your twin in Irminsul.
Oh, yeah. Actually, that's the whole reason we came to see you today. So, you have an update?
Mm-hmm. You may remember me mentioning that the Fatui had not included your twin's details in the Descender category. This is an extremely important point. It's possible that the Fatui have other information that even I don't know about. And since the Balladeer used to be one of them, he'll be better acquainted with this information than I. He was granted the power to connect with Irminsul when he almost became the god of a new era. Even though he no longer has the Gnosis, some traces of its power remain in him. The amount of information in Irminsul is vast beyond description. Sifting through all of it without knowing what to look for would take too long, even for me. So I asked the Balladeer to search in Irminsul for any information about the Descenders. He's more familiar with this kind of information, and should be able to find it more quickly.
Exactly! Or what if... Paimon just doesn't trust him! He's treated us as enemies every time we've run into him!
I understand. But sometimes, everything is dictated by which side you're on. How things will go in the future depends on what information he brings back. And Traveler, I know what your heart desires most. Our minds have connected several times before. There is a corner of your heart reserved for an intense longing. A feeling of being all alone in the dark, searching for the one candle. As Sumeru's deity, it is my responsibility to be on guard against the Balladeer. But as someone who counts you as a friend, I want to do something for you. If this deal with the Balladeer can give you the answers you've been longing to find, then it's my pleasure, really. You're Sumeru's hero. You've more than earned it.
Paimon's still worried about this.
I was going to contact you about that, but then you suddenly showed up on your own accord. In fact, I was going to ask you to supervise the Balladeer on my behalf while he carries out the task. Even though he only has a fraction of his full power left, that's still a fraction of a former Harbinger. If you could accompany him, it would put my mind at ease. Of course, I'll be there to help guide you through Irminsul from the outside. Great. Prepare yourselves.
It looks pretty different here compared to last time. The colors are gentler. Guess that must be because Sumeru's at peace now.
Look at that. Hot on my heels. You know, you didn't have to cut your catch-up short just to keep me company. Oh, but I guess you panicked when you realized that I might enter Irminsul ahead of you.
Shut your beak, jailbird! No way a prisoner gets to be so smug!
I understand that prisoners have to put up with harassment from the guards. But right now, I'm on temporary release. So maybe you should think about backing off a little.
Sounds like a successful rendezvous. I need to be quite clear about something. In a few moments, you'll be entering into the innermost region of Irminsul. It is an environment like no other, and unlike anywhere else, Irminsul's inner region consists exclusively of torrents of information. You must put aside your differences and be extremely careful as you I know there are many grievances between you on both sides, but it is essential that you remain calm after entry. This is as much for your own safety.
Fine. Let's call it truce. But only until this mission.
Let's cut each other a little slack, shall we? We are going to be traveling together after all. Per my agreement with Lesser Lord Kusanali, I'll be at the front. It's my job to lead the way and get rid of any obstacles in our path. All you have to do is keep your pretty eyes open and try not to fall.
You sure are confident. Paimon will give you that. You make it sound like you're even more experienced.
If there are no further objections, or did you need some time to mentally prepare yourselves?
Ew! Ugh, the snark on this guy. It's unbearable.
We can start now.
Irminsul access grid.
Is this a small sapling? Oh, darn it! Come on, let's catch up with him. Wow! So this is the inside of... Ooh! Paimon's never seen anything like this.
Irminsul is closely intertwined with the entirety of Teyvat. Every bit of information flowing here means something. Pick your jaws up off the floor. It's time to go.
Why is it that Paimon just wants to do the opposite of everything he says?
Lesser Lord Kusanali, we will now proceed to the...
Can you still sense where the heart of Irminsul?
Yes. Permission to begin searching for information.
Permission granted.
Let's go. Stay close. Don't go running off.
Hey, so... Say we did go running off in here.
I was just imagining the look on your travel companion's face if you went and got lost. Anything's possible in here. You can't rule anything out. So if you want to stay safe, your best
These sapling things have spread out.
Those are all packets of information from inside Irminsul. Be careful not to touch them.
It looks the same in every direction. No wonder he mentioned about getting lost. Huh. What do you know? He was actually telling the truth. Is he mocking me again? What is it this time?
There's a time and a place to lie, but this definitely isn't it. So why don't you relax your guard a little? We're here.
What a
Lesser Lord Kusanali,
Good, you made it.
ready when you are.
Then please begin. Preparing to access cognitive currents. Establishing waypoint.
The Balladeer's actually doing what Nahida tells him. Guess he must want to stay alive.
The rest is up to you. If you discover anything at all, make...
Will do.
Huh. For once, we're the ones with nothing to do.
Traveler, Paimon, would you like to talk? Yes, I've also invited Paimon to join.
Huh? What the? We can talk to each other inside our heads?
That's part of it. Plus, we're all friends. There's nothing wrong with us talking like this.
Paimon's never tried this before. So, Paimon's been wanting to ask you something. Don't you think the Balladeer's a bit of a walking contradiction? He's always talking back, but he seems...
As I've told you before, there are still some mysteries for him to resolve. Things that are clear as day to me, but that he has yet to understand. Perhaps today will be the day that he finds some answers. Well done. Smart and attentive as all. So, you made contact with that part of his mind. Well, it's true. Betrayal turned the Balladeer into the person he is.
Huh. Paimon thought nothing could get under that guy's skin. Turns...
Everyone has a history, Paimon. Even if you're a puppet created by the Electro Archon.
Speaking of puppets, we ran into two people at the Academia today talking about an essay. Turns out their topic was about the Tatarasuna incident.
If you mean the mysterious events, the Kabuki Mono and so on, yes.
Really? Because from what they were saying, it sounded like lots of Tatarasuna's history...
Oh? How interesting. Those...
So the Gese got it right?
Well, they guessed right about one thing. Tatarasuna was sabotaged.
Must be a riveting conversation you three are having. Funny how all the good ones happen when I'm not involved.
What makes you think we're talking to each...
Don't insult me. You're having a private conversation without me. Obviously, I must be the topic of said conversation. Of course you do. You can't have your prisoner knowing too much.
So, have you found anything yet?
Still looking. Don't get your hopes up, though. You and your twin come from outside this world. It wouldn't surprise me if there was nothing on either of you in Irminsul at all.
Wait! How did you know about that?
It's not like we've never met before. And anyway, you're world famous. It'd be more surprising if I didn't know a few things about you. Right now, we have to keep the peace. I'm not interested in creating more misery for myself. And making... Huh?
This light. It looks similar to those saplings. What could it be?
Anonymous data.
Hey, don't you forget the agreement. You have to share it with that.
Shh. Just wait.
Mr. Niwa, are you certain this is worth the risk? We are talking about Tatarasuna's furnace, after all. It may not pay to act rashly.
There's no one else who can enter the furnace. It has to be me.
Is that so? Well, since you insist.
It's...
Whoa!
I have been in Tatarasuna for some time now. You have shown me great hospitality, as has Mikoshi Nagamasa, and indeed, everyone else. Under your leadership, Tatarasuna is a warm, welcoming place. Like a giant village. As I understand, the Raiden Shogun has, in recent years, eliminated much of the evil that plagued Inazuma. As for Tatarasuna, it was originally established as a means of safely disposing crystal. The forging industry with crystal marrow as a raw material has since flourished. Skills, blood, dreams. Every smith brought into this—
Yes, well, were it not for you coming to Inazuma and happening to make Akame's acquaintance, the two of you allowed Akame to take all the credit for a method that you jointly developed. He sold it to me, and now even now, you remain one of Tatarasuna's key—
You flatter me. From the outset, I saw much that was commendable in the forging industry of Inazuma.
So you say, Escher. But is this really the truth?
My good sir, what do you—
I tried to resist thinking it was all connected. Because I didn't want to speculate. And I didn't want to believe that things could turn out this way. What have we gained from adopting your new technology? Ominous black smoke? Mounting production problems? Worker fatigue and casualties are up and continuing to rise at an alarming rate. And recently, as you well know, someone died because of that strange filth inside the furnace. None of the people who went out to get help have come back. Now, our mutual friend, the Kabuki Mono. But that doesn't faze you, does it, Escher? Nothing does.
I'm just surprised that you finally chose to be so sincere.
Mikoshi Nagamasa may have noticed that there was one common denominator among all these events.
After all, Nagamasa is the adopted son of Mikoshi Torachiyo, the yokai struck down by the Shogun's own hand.
You're well informed on the subtleties of his situation for a mechanic all the way from Fontaine. Are you sure you're not a little overqualified?
Why, Mr. Niwa, are you suggesting I find a job as a diplomat? Sadly, I am—
Enough, Escher. I'm here because an evil force is raging inside the furnace. And someone needs to— I'm in charge here. And I'm about to take some responsibility and head inside. Probably—
Judging from the look in your eyes—
Drop the act! We're past that now. Whoever you are, it looks like your plan to destroy Tatarasuna has worked. I just want to know what you're still doing here. What's left? Don't you have all your answers by now?
Honestly, I'm just waiting for the right moment. A moment like this, where you finish talking and I stop you from entering the furnace.
You...
You're a little smarter than I initially gave you credit for. I thought I'd disguised myself exceptionally well. It's a long journey from Inazuma to Fontaine, but that didn't stop them. Eventually, they managed to confirm that Escher was an alias, and that I was not from Fontaine. And yet, despite all of that, you still fail to realize my true identity.
If you kill me, there's no one who can get inside the furnace. So you're really going to destroy this place?
Oh, but you're quite wrong. There is one other person. Some may not see him as a person, but you told him yourself. You're not a puppet. You're a human.
Whoever you're working for won't get away with this. They'll be found out.
It's no trouble at all. Patience is a virtue. If you must know, I'm happy to divulge my true identity. I'm a Fatui Harbinger. Call me the Doctor.
The Fatui? Who? What do you want?
Just to create a minor inconvenience for your nation.
That's it? That's why you gave us your cursed technology?
Look how even the righteous soul is filled with venom when faced with its demise. My device functions precisely as you say. It is the only chance. It is easier for a person to be possessed by evil. Make no mistake, even without you, that pure, innocent puppet would only end up being used by someone else.
If you give him my heart, he has nothing to prove to anyone.
What a beautiful way to see the world. Think of me as a monster or a demon, if you wish. At least this way your death is not a consequence of your... I say, Mr. Niwa, let's see what happens. Will your puppet friend become a human? No, that will prove... Mr. Niwa. Already dead. What a pity. Jester, I have completed the task you gave me. Creating a gap and infiltrate. I'd like to introduce a puppet to you.
Hey, are you...
Dottore. Dottore! Good. Good.
Was that the doctor? Did he turn into a mechanic from Fontaine? But why did we see things from his...
When I touched the doctor to confirm whether he'd eliminated all his segments, I read this memory in his mind. You have to admit...
Maybe so. But it means...
Does it? But this memory shows that Niwa didn't betray you. He never meant for you to be the one to take the device into the furnace. You know very well what that means.
Let's give him some space. He looks really mad. Paimon doesn't want to be any...
They need to give him some time to process his emotions.
Paimon's still confused about the Tatarasuna incident. So, the doctor was behind it, but why has that gotten him so worked up?
Nobody has ever deceived you like that, Paimon. It's natural that you find it difficult to understand. Perhaps he needed to learn this someday. So now you have the complete picture. Katsuragi took the Kabuki Mono to live with the people of It was all a horrific experiment planned by the doctor. Everything he did was just to plant seeds of disaster in Inazuma. Of all the unwitting participants in the doctor's experiment, after the events you just saw in that memory, the doctor put Niwa's heart into the device and handed it to the balladeer. Then, he instructed him to enter the furnace and absorb all the filth. The load was far beyond what he expected. The mechanic answered. Niwa fled this place for fear of punishment, but he left you a gift. He said it's the one thing that you've been looking for. He took it straight from the chest of one of his innocents. The mechanic removed the withered heart from the device. The balladeer was stunned that such unthinkable cruelty had brought him the thing he'd been longing for his entire life. A heart acquired through cold-blooded murder. He thought Niwa had completely betrayed him, and yet this very betrayal had ensured his survival.
Holy moly! So the doctor killed an innocent man and pinned everything on the victim? That's terrible.
Yes. Only if he understands this can he choose a new path forward.
Dottore, you brazen-faced... Niwa didn't run from justice. You killed him.
Shall we see how he's doing? Hey, you alright? That's a scary expression.
Are you worried about me? If we didn't have such a history, I'd almost think that qualifies me to be your friend. It won't. I'll keep my end of the deal.
Hey, are you investigating the stuff we want to know about?
That's why we're here. But unfortunately, there's no information about the Descenders in Irminsul.
Even if you can't find anything, that seems to confirm it. Irminsul does not keep records on the Descenders. Anyone who comes from beyond this world is not counted as part of Teyvat.
Oh, does that mean we have to leave empty-handed?
Don't thank me just yet. You look really upset. Well, since Irminsul was a dead end, I guess I can share some other info that might...
Huh?
The reason why there are records about your sister in Irminsul. It might have something to do with Conria. Apparently, Conria was her first destination when she arrived in this world. Plus, she only came to this world because the heavens responded to the summoning.
The heavens respond?
The Jester told me this himself. You can take his word on this. He was a royal mage in Conria, and lived with your sister for a I don't know the details. It's up to you whether you want to believe me. All I can say is, did you get all that?
Yes.
Does this info count towards my mission? It wasn't from Irminsul.
Very valuable.
Good. In that case, I'll take some time for myself.
Huh? What if...
Lesser Lord Kusanali was right. My power's all but completely spent. Even if I use all of the divine power left in me, I can't sustain this shield for very long. I shared a secret with you, and now you owe me. So in return, I'd like you to answer a question for me. Give me your hand. Can you hear my voice inside your head? No, I can't do anything like that anymore. At most, all I can do is exchange a... So tell me, in this world, is it possible to change the past? Done.
Huh? What the...
Nothing. I was just thanking him for helping. So long. I suggest you get yourselves out of here quickly.
Where are you going? Hey, wait up! Didn't you say not to go running off?
Fast reaction time. But I don't think we'll be seeing each other again. From this day forth, the names Balladeer and Kabukimono will cease to exist. Those who died in Tatarasuna because of me deserve another chance at life.
Hey, Balladeer! Don't do anything
You know, I never did like insects. Hordes of the puny things swarming together can be a real... But if a colony of harmless ants isn't threatening...
Balladeer! Uh-oh, he disappeared. Oh no.
Oh, can you hear me?
Nahida!
Traveler, Paimon, Balladeer, what happened just now?
It was the Balladeer's fault.
I didn't think he'd be capable of something like that with so little power left. Did he keep some of his power hidden when he was defeated? Or... did he...
Where the heck did he go? Ugh, it's all our...
Don't be. It's not your fault. Please, let me handle the... We're running out of time. Follow my lead and get out of Irminsul as soon as... This is an emergency. I'll have to ask you to stay here for now. Everything's arranged, and nobody will disturb you. I'm sorry, but this isn't
An emergency? How bad is it?
Don't worry. If my assessment is correct,
Her voice has gone. Paimon can't shake the feeling that something really... He wants to change the past? But surely that's right! You can't just rewrite history. All that stuff happened already in real life. It's like, imagine Paimon drank all the water in this inn. Even if no one was there to see it, Paimon would sure as heck remember... So, why does... Paimon's... Huh? Ah! Sorry. Paimon accidentally... but erasing yourself from history? It's unthinkable. Is that really possible in Earth? Uh-oh. Paimon's head is overheating from... Paimon's had it with that little brat. He's been nothing but trouble ever since we met. There's no way he'll actually succeed, right? There's nothing we can do about it at this point. Hey, have you got any ideas? Seems like now there's nothing left for us to do but to go to sleep. But, so, how about, we list all our favorite foods to take our mind off things? Alright, Paimon will start. First dish. Munstack grilled fish. Oh, and chicken mushroom skewers. And Dragon chili chicken. Almond tofu. Oh, also Adeptus Temptation, golden shrimp balls, triple layered. What do we... What was... Paimon was, talking? Huh. Paimon suddenly can't remember what she was... The balladeer? Is that a food, too? What's wrong? Your eyes are like saucers. Was it something... So, the balladeer. Is that someone's name? Okay, sure. Where are we going? Huh? Fine by Paimon, but... Is everything okay?
Behold! The price for my sins.
We made it! Amanoma Smith!
Ah, it's been a while. Of course. Go ahead. No. Now there's a question I wasn't expecting. The once renowned Raiden Gokuden, comprised of 5 branches. The art of forging practiced by these 5. Most of the great swordsmith clans of old have since fallen into... But fortunately, Kaedehara Kazuha recently returned to Inazuma and took, if my memory serves me right, You yourself were present when he forged the Ishin blade.
Oh, yeah, we were! We learned a bit about the decline of the Raiden Gokuden, then...
That, in fact, this was not made known to me, for most... He told me that, as we are both heirs to a... There is no harm in telling you, but I must warn you. It is a dark... The Raiden Gokuden were the targets of a murderous rampage.
Vengeful?
400 years ago, so I'm told, there was a catastrophic malfunction in Tatarasuna's firm. Tatarasuna was home to a state-of-the-art forging and smelting operation in that day, and overseeing it was the armory officer. Knowing that they had just one chance to save countless lives, Mr. Niwa and the swordsmith leaped together. The smith's death, though heroic, dealt a devastating blow to his family's fortunes. In his heart, the whole of Inazuma was culpable in his tragedy. He, powerless and destitute, the only leg... Alas, if only the... Finally, he made a drastic decision to take revenge on the Raiden Gokuden. In his fury, he murdered indiscriminately, killing even bladesmiths from the Hyakume clan. But when he came to the Kaedehara and Kamisato clans, that is why the Kaedehara clan and their Ishin art survived that day.
Was there anything else you wanted to ask?
Kazuha? Why, yes. Just yes. My pleasure.
Don't tell Paimon. There are other places you want to visit too. On to the next stop!
The wind rises.
Traveler, it's been a while. If you're looking for the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato, I'm afraid you're...
Are they out on business?
The Commissioner is out on business, and Miss Kamisato is standing in for some meetings in the Commission...
What do you think? Shall we go in?
If it were anyone else...
We'll be heading in then. Thanks!
Hello, dears. Of course, traveler. What would you like to know? Oh, they're both very well indeed. Lately, Miss Kamisato has been rather busy. As for the Commissioner...
So pretty much business is...
Very much.
Well, got any more questions?
You're very well. Miss Kamisato talks about you all the time. I must say, many things in Inazuma seem... I mean, whenever the Commissioner has such a busy schedule that they say it's because Toma's a much better chef. They get to talking about Miss Kamisato occasionally. It's been many years now since the late... As someone who is old, so in the future, if you... Wonderful.
Paimon likes it. Paimon's itching to try it. We may just have to invite...
Of course.
All right, goodbye for now. We're, great. Goodbye, ma'am. Don't worry.
All right, then.
Oh, are you two leaving already?
Yep. Everything's taken care...
Very well.
Squall and Fury. The wind rises. Yeah.
Well, here we are.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is that the traveler?
Xavier, what are you doing here?
I was in the general area, and now I'm in...
We have some questions and thought you might be...
Certainly do. I've researched the furnace here in some depth. If there's anything you want to know, just ask away. Like the back of my hand. Make no... Not only that, but I've met people in Inazuma whose families used to live in... Oh, well, it's a long story, don't you? I'm told that its history is one of the most foremost forging and...
A couple? What?
One was just in the last few years, the other was several hundred years ago. A fun fact, I'm not the first Fontaine tech guy to come and work. They say he was a mechanic who consulted on a technology upgrade.
Hey, weren't you gonna ask Xavier something about Tatara?
Oh, I didn't realize you two were here for a history lesson.
Me neither. Paimon doesn't know what's gotten into this.
What brought this on? Did you just wake... Sure, go ahead. A kabuki mono? No, I can't... I do know the word. Inazuman for those eccentric types who always go around dressed. But sadly, I've never had the pleasure, nor have I come across... Of course!
Oh, we're leaving?
Oh, you're most welcome. Farewell.
Looks like you got all the information you're looking for. Sure, but what's up with you today? Keep your smile, Spinal Crocodile. Come on. All right.
Squall and Fury. The wind rises.
Hey, it's them!
Akaba, Sawada, you're still here?
Indeed we are. If you have a moment, we'd love for you to join...
We have time. What do you want
It's the same topic we discussed last...
Still looking for more info about Tatara Suna, huh? Should we join them?
Unfortunately, we haven't made any real progress. Huh? Oh!
I presume you'll want to read mine...
Well, what do you think?
Hey, Traveler. Remember how last time Akaba was saying how he wished he could gather more information about all this?
What did you find out?
It's a long story. Basically, we have some friends in
Wow, so many new details. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Well, well. So it all comes down to one man's desire for revenge. Huh. You heard this from a member of the Armanoma clan, you say? Then I guess it must be true. Ugh. So there's no ghost story?
This new information actually...
Yes, okay, point taken, you...
And they're back at it.
Oh, so sorry. Look at us.
You're welcome. See...
Keep us in the loop if you find out anything else.
Will do.
Behold!
Yeah. Nahida, we're here!
Traveler, Paimon.
Ugh, where to start? Paimon hasn't had a
The Balladeer? You look troubled. Is... Traveler?
Hey, what's wrong?
That's quite a... So, this puppet known as the Balladeer erased himself from Irminsul.
But how was he even able to do that?
As the Traveler said, he very nearly became Sumeru's deity. Admittedly, I remember it a little differently. I don't recall finding anyone inside the machine after we defeated it. Nevertheless, it does make sense. If someone were to successfully erase themselves from Irminsul, the world would change to reflect the new reality.
So, you believe this person really existed, and we just don't remember him because... well, because he literally changed the world?
Yes. Theoretically speaking, it is possible to do that. The Traveler comes from a world beyond to that. That's why there's no information about him in Irminsul. So if there's anyone in the world capable of retaining memories from a past that has been...
Paimon's having a hard time understanding...
I can only make inferences based on... Something else worrying you? Something that it couldn't change the fate of the ones who had died, right? Once the Balladeer realized he hadn't been betrayed after all, It must have completely changed his view of the people of Tatarasuna. Now he couldn't keep hating humans after this story makes sense. The Balladeer tried to achieve godhood with the doctor's help. That power then enabled...
Yeah, it does make sense, but it still ended in tragedy for his friend. It just feels so hopeless.
Please wait a moment. Found it. This should be the one. It turns out that I have a strange way of confirming every...
What is it?
A record from a personal collection. You should take a look.
Is this a fairy tale?
I authored this record myself.
Huh? You wrote a fairy tale?
When combined with the traveler's narrative, it's clear that...
Hold on. So this record survived from the...
Yes. Any information about the Balladeer or the Kabukimono and other records will have... Changing the information in Irminsul changes to that, but Irminsul can't change information that was well hidden in advance.
That's incredible!
And sending the traveler into Irminsul with the Balladeer must have been a further precaution. This story is abstract enough that it still resonates, but if we connect all the different pieces together... There was once a lone monster draped in fox fur. The monster found a family of foxes, joined them, and they became friends. The monster lived with the family day and night, and everyone treated it as one of their own. Once in a while, the monster would take off its fox fur at night and lament to itself as it gazed at its reflection in the water. But the monster soon found solace when another came to live among the foxes who was not their kin. The kitten too wished to become a fox, but its tail was too slender and it could not grow a coat of richly colored fur. Furious at this happy resolution, the monster lit a fire on the mountain. The terrified animal, a gray fox, stood up and addressed the monster. It said, "You are the cleverest among us. Surely you can help us fight." The monster smiled, led the fox toward the fire, and murdered it. The gray fox's... The monster gave the heart of water to the kitten, telling him, "The foxes have decided. You are the one." The fire was extinguished, but the kitten lived. It left that side of the mountain and found a little bird who had a broken wing. The two promised they would spend their whole lives together, but the little bird did not have long left to live. It passed away soon after. Never again would it cherish a single creature, nor a single blade of grass that stood on that. How it wished to swallow the moon and devour the moonlight. I will become the new moon, the answer to everything. Then, no one will know that there were once birds, foxes, and cats in this world.
We solved it!
I remember now. This is not just the Balladeer story. It is his very own memories. To become a god, he was experimented on and modified countless times. It was brutal torture. This memory was extracted from him by the scholars. Creating a deity was just the first step. Some of them wanted to be able to control it. I buried it deep inside one of my own dreams, and then hid it inside an allegorical stories.
It's hard to believe that this person really existed, let alone that he tried to get rid of us on more than one occasion. Paimon has no memory of him at all. He completely vanished like a puff of smoke.
The Balladeer agreed to help me look for information about the Descenders, and although he was unsuccessful, before he vanished, He confirmed an important detail. That Conria was where your twin first came into this world. We still don't know how the change to Irminsul will affect the senior ranks of the Fatui, but in all likelihood, they won't even remember their own Harbinger.
It sounds like Paimon wouldn't like this guy a whole lot if he was still around. But still, Paimon doesn't like the way it...
This is why wisdom alone cannot answer all our questions. We look, we see, and we so the answer is not everything. People yearn to find the truth, and then conquer the troubles they... When you give someone the truth, you give them a chance to choose their own destiny. To others looking on, this may seem like a pointless endeavor, but for him, the chance to act on his desire to... Never forget that even when we walk beneath dark clouds along a road filled with suffering, the light of wisdom, and that is what you have been doing all along.
Yeah, Nahita's right. Cheer up! How about we go get something to eat?
Good idea. Paimon.
You got it! Come on, Let's go get a snack from one of the stalls in the Grand Bazaar! That'll be sure to lift our... It must be really tough being the only one who remembers all that. But Paimon's always here to help cheer you up.
There's a few things I'd like to look into.
Wind rises. Squall and Fury. The wind rises. Behold! Squall and Fury. The wind rises. Squall and Fury. Behold!
Dad, let me learn to dance. What should we eat first? Hey, are you gonna answer or what? Alright, whatever you want. Well, Paimon will be right here when you figured stuff out. What is it? Have you figured... Why'd you jump up on...
Excuse me, boss. There seems to be a small problem with the last bill. Look, here.
Hey! Hey, wait!
You mean me?
No, not you. That kid! Didn't you see? Look, if you're gonna help out here, you can't keep spacing out, okay?
I wasn't paying close enough attention. Sorry, boss. I think you're right. Maybe it's the city. It's so exciting.
Who's that guy? You know him or something? He's who?
You're a strange one, kiddo. You say you don't want any money for helping out here, and then when I actually give you some work to do, I don't want to take advantage, so I'm happy to pay you what I'd pay anyone else.
No, please. I mean it. You don't need to pay me anything.
You're welcome, I guess. But I got bigger things to worry about. Look.
Leave it to me. I'll find some more.
Stop. I'm gonna level with you, kiddo. I've never met a worker who said they didn't want a wage before. You don't want money. You don't take days off. And in your free time, all I see you do is wander around, take...
That's right, I am. We can talk more about that later.
Hey, what do we do now? Okay, stay out of sight.
The wind rises.